Bloomberg just dropped a major confirmation about the iPhone 18 Pro, and when you stack that on top of the newest iPhone 18 Pro supply chain leaks, it starts to look like Apple is planning its first true reset since the iPhone X. Not a minor refresh, not a camera tweak and a new color. A real hardware shift that changes what people expect from an iPhone Pro. Because if even half of these iPhone 18 Pro rumors are accurate, we're looking at a phone built around three pillars Apple cares about more than anything. Massive efficiency, gains, a cleaner all-screen design, and pro-level imaging that's driven by real hardware, not just software tricks. So let's break down the biggest iPhone 18 Pro leaks, what Bloomberg reportedly confirmed, what the supply chain is signaling, and why the iPhone 18 Pro could be the upgrade worth waiting for. First, the headline upgrade. The A20 Pro chip, reportedly built on TSMC's 2-nanometer process. This is the kind of change that actually matters. A node shrink isn't just about bragging rights or a number on a slide. Moving to 2 nanometers can mean a major jump in transistor density, better performance per watt, and the kind of battery efficiency that changes your day-to-day experience, especially on a Pro model that's constantly doing heavy work in the background. Early projections floating around the iPhone 18 Pro leak cycle point to something like a 10 to 15% performance improvement. But what's more important is efficiency. If Apple gets a meaningful power reduction at the same performance level, that affects everything. Gaming, camera processing, 5G drain, background AI tasks, photo and video exports, even sustained brightness on the display. And here's the detail that makes this feel like more than just a faster chip. Advanced chip packaging. Supply chain chatter suggests Apple could push more advanced packaging that brings memory closer to the processor. In plain English, that reduces latency, improves bandwidth, and boosts on-device performance for the exact workloads Apple is doubling down on. Apple Intelligence and on-device AI. This is how the iPhone 18 Pro could run next-generation Apple. Intelligence features locally, with less heat, less lag, and less battery hit. It's not just about scoring higher in benchmarks, it's about making the phone feel instant, even when it's doing complex AI tasks like image generation, advanced Siri actions, live translation, and on-device photo and video understanding. If Apple nails A20 Pro efficiency on 2 nanometers, it could be one of the biggest iPhone performance jumps in years. Not because it's flashy, but because it makes everything smoother while using less power. Now let's talk about the upgrade you'll notice the second you look at the phone. The iPhone 18 Pro display and design changes. Multiple iPhone 18 Pro reports suggest Apple is moving Face ID under the display. Read that again because it's huge. Under-display Face ID is the step Apple needs if it wants to shrink the dynamic island without compromising security. And if that happens, the iPhone 18 Pro design could finally move closer to the true all-screen iPhone that Apple has been chasing for years. The likely outcome, based on the current rumor pattern, is a dramatically reduced cutout. Potentially, just a small camera hole, while Face ID sensors disappear beneath the panel. That means a higher screen-to-body ratio than any iPhone before it. Cleaner top edge, more immersive video, less visual clutter when you're gaming, reading, or editing. And from a marketing perspective, it's the kind of change that instantly makes the iPhone 18 Pro look new in a way that a slightly different camera bump never will. Because the iPhone has looked broadly similar for a long time. The iPhone 18 Pro going more all-screen is the sort of visual shift that makes people in coffee shops turn their heads. It becomes recognizable as the next generation, immediately. But a clean design doesn't matter if the upgrades don't translate into real-world gains. That brings us to what could be the most important iPhone 18 Pro camera leak yet. Mechanical variable aperture. According to respected analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, Apple could be bringing a real variable aperture system to the iPhone 18 Pro. And this is the kind of camera upgrade that changes everything because it's not a software filter. It's not portrait mode guessing edges. It's not AI blur trying to mimic physics. It's actual hardware. A mechanical variable aperture means the lens can physically adjust how much light it lets in. Wider aperture for low light, more light. Intake, better shutter speeds, cleaner detail. Narrower aperture for bright light, sharper overall focus, better control over highlights, and more natural depth characteristics. This is a classic pro camera tool coming to a smartphone, and it matters for two huge reasons. 1. Low light. When phones struggle at night, they typically compensate with longer exposures and heavier processing. That can create smearing, weird textures, and that overprocessed night mode look. A variable aperture gives Apple another lever. Gather more light optically, not just computationally. 2. Depth and realism. Smartphone portraits often look artificial because the blur is simulated. A variable aperture gives more natural optical behavior and lets Apple blend computational photography with real-world lens physics. The end result could be portraits and close-up shots that look less phone-like and more camera-like without having to crank the software so hard. If Apple puts a mechanical variable aperture into the iPhone 18 Pro, that's not just a spec upgrade. That's Apple saying, we're bringing real pro tools to the pocket. Now let's shift to a part of the iPhone experience that most people don't talk about until it's bad. Connectivity. One of the most interesting iPhone 18 Pro supply chain rumors is Apple expanding its in-house modem strategy with a newer modem, often referenced as a C2 class modem in leaks. This matters because when Apple controls both the processor and the modem, it can optimize the entire system in a way third-party modems can't. That can mean more consistent signal behavior in weak coverage areas, smarter 5G power management, less battery drain when the phone is hunting for signal, smoother switching between towers and bands, potential improvements for latency-sensitive tasks like cloud gaming, live streaming, and FaceTime. A lot of people blame battery when their phone drains fast, but in the real world, weak signal can destroy battery life. If the iPhone 18 Pro gets a major modem integration improvement, it could quietly be one of the best day-to-day upgrades, even if it doesn't sound exciting on paper. And now we have to talk about the silent killer of smartphone performance. Heat. Powerful chips don't just need speed, they need sustained performance. And sustained performance requires thermal management that can keep up. That's why iPhone 18 Pro leaks about a graphene-based thermal system are so interesting. Graphene is known for high thermal conductivity. In practical terms, better heat spreading can mean less throttling during long gaming sessions, more stable performance when recording 4K or high frame rate video, faster exports without the phone overheating, more consistent camera performance during extended shooting, better overall responsiveness when the phone is under pressure. This is the difference between a phone that can hit peak performance for 30 seconds and a phone that can stay fast for 20 minutes. If Apple combines a 2nm A20 Pro chip with improved thermal design, the iPhone 18 Pro wouldn't just be faster, it would stay faster. And when you zoom out and connect the dots, A20 Pro on 2nm, under-display Face ID, a smaller dynamic island footprint, mechanical variable aperture camera hardware, Apple's in-house modem progress, and graphene cooling, you start to see the pattern. This isn't Apple doing a yearly refresh. This is Apple rebuilding the iPhone Pro experience around what's next: on-device AI, more immersive design, and true pro imaging. That's why people are already comparing the iPhone 18 Pro moment to the iPhone X era. Not because it's guaranteed to be the same cultural shock, but because it has the ingredients of a major generational leap. A new design direction and foundational hardware upgrades that could reshape the next several iPhones. So here's the real question. If you're thinking about upgrading your iPhone, do you buy the current Pro model knowing the iPhone 18 Pro could be a full reset? Or do you wait for Apple's next big swing? A 2nm iPhone with under-display Face ID and a camera system that finally adds true optical control. I want to know what matters most to you with the iPhone 18 Pro. Is it the A20 Pro 2nm performance and efficiency, the under-display Face ID and the all-screen iPhone design, the mechanical variable aperture camera upgrade, the in-house modem improvements for better signal and battery life, or the graphene thermal system for sustained performance? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want the latest iPhone 18 Pro leaks, supply chain updates, and credible analyst reports as they come in, make sure you're subscribed, because the closer we get, the more these details are going to lock into place.